哦，晚上好。Living in a country of bilingual official languages and coming from a country of one country, two systems. Greeting in multiple language is not a show-off tonight. It's a necessity. And this is called multicultural here. I'm Lixin Du, and my best amigo team want me, this Chinese Canadian from mainland China, to speak to another group of Chinese Canadian. Every time when I say Chinese in English, I always think about there's such a variety of Chinese, not only Hua Yin, Han Yin, Tang Yin, but also 中国人. Not the ceramic China man, but the proud Middle Kingdom people. There are also mainlander Chinese and islander Chinese. Among the islander Chinese, there are Taiwan Islanders and Hong Kong Islanders. And one question confused me for a while, that every time I introduce 我的家姐佢而家去海南, I'm not sure should I introduce her as a mainlander Chinese or islander Chinese, because she works now in Hainan Island. It's such an honor for me tonight to speak to you, because every immigrants are talking about how to merge into this so-called mainstream if someone still interested in this mainlander. Different immigrants got their different way to merge into the mainstream. I remember Russell Peter said how his father turned into a Canadian overnight by doing the barbecue in the backyard with the rice. Ce soir, je vais faire mon discours avec une langue officielle du Canada, basque. Tonight, I'm going to make my speech in one of the official language of Canada, because I want to be closer to this 娱乐社会.
Mainstream Chinese, mainstream society.
Merging to the mainstream is always a hot topic among the new immigrants. And I always talk this with my Chinese friends, and I tell them my opinion about 3 stages. Stage 1 is a non-mainstream. This is for the FOB, fresh off the board new immigrants. They knew little about Canada, they speak broken English. Stage 3, mainstream. I don't want to describe here. I'm afraid I will make lots of politically incorrect mistakes. So stage 2 I call the semi-mainstream. And the 2 types of the semi-mainstream: Chinatown style and China daily style. Within the Chinatown style, 你唔使聽，唔使睇，或者使聽使講少少英文. You get all the Canadian news through the Chinese media. You may occasionally drink Qingdao beer, but you read constantly Xintao and other Chinese newspapers. You may have a chance to talk to Olivia Cho, but only with one of the dialect of Chinese. For the China daily style, you had a good education in China. You could even read English newspaper China Daily. But when you come to Canada, you care more about Chinese news than Canadian local news. Wow, China Daily said, President Hu shook hands with the Russian president. Wen Jiabao shook hands with Pakistan president. China and Pakistan, good friendship. That's I call the China Daily style. And you care more about the tennis match of Lina rather than the Stanley Final Cup. I was always think, should that stage 2 merge into the so-called stage 3? I don't believe so, because otherwise we won't see this IFA this weekend held in Toronto. Even I'm not a Bollywood fan. Of course, I watch more Chinese movies. And recently, I watched a Hong Kong movie in Omni 2, Echoes of the Rainbow, 岁月渗透. I really like this phrase Wu Guanyu said in the movie. 要不难，要不干. One step hard, one step good. I think that should be the lifestyle for our immigrants living in this country. 135二四路. One step west, one step east. Into the comfort zone, out of the comfort zone. Less shark fin soup and less seal hunting. That's the beauty of this multicultural, the twisting kaleidoscope of different substream, which consists of this so-called mainstream. And in the end, I want to say buenas noches to my amigo Tim Kwan. Tim speaks really good Espanol, 西班牙文. I wish I could knew him 2 years ago. I was doing the volunteer interpreter for the World Wushu Championship in Toronto. And Spanish was my weakest language at that time. Tim is also my Toastmaster colleague. In his icebreaker speech, he called for the people to do the more volunteer jobs. And I totally agree with him because himself also works Mo Chang Day for Mongshan. And tonight, seeing so many people get awarded, I'm so inspired. I really like to work Mo Chang Day for Mongshan, so I decided to start it right now. This speech is also Mo Chang Day. Living in this country, this is our new land. In Chinese, we call it Janada. And we should do our contribution to this country. This phenomenon could be called different terms in different culture. In mainland China, we call this 学雷锋, 火炸雷锋. And in the Western, it's called Samaritan. It doesn't matter which term you use, we should all do our contribution to this country because we are living in Janada, not Dajana. So, ask yourself not how much you can take from this Dajana, but ask yourself how much you can do for this country, Janada. Thank you. You have a wonderful evening.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Du.